People know that the Ursuline nuns have been here since the early days of the city. You know, the city celebrated its tricentennial in 2018. Ours is going to be 2027. So there are not a lot of places that can say they've been around in the United States for 300 years. We were here before it was the United States.
This place is called the National Votive Shrine of Our Lady of Prom Succor. Votive meaning it is a place where people bring their requests for Our Lady's intercession. That means they are requesting prayers to help them along with whatever troubles they're experiencing. Praying for keeping safe in storms and returning home from wars, or the other terrible problems and troubles that people deal with every day, whether it be illness or poverty or racism or violence. People come here every day to pray for her help in relief from those problems.
The statue was commissioned and brought in 1810 from France. It's a wood-carved statue. And it's before that statue that the people of the city prayed before the Battle of New Orleans. And so Mary's quick help for a successful outcome of that battle is one of the miracles that we consider one of her gifts to the city, because even though now we don't see that battle as so important, at the time it was very important. If the British had taken over New Orleans, the mouth of the river, that would have blocked all possibility of expansion of the United States into the Louisiana Territory. And it would have made a huge difference in how things played out. So it was a very important miracle, and it's the first of many.
So I think Our Lady of Prompt Succor became a very public rallying point for New Orleanians. And it was a rallying point that was closely associated with the Ursuline sisters. And so in a way, it extended their fame and deepened their importance to the city, even though it was just really, frankly, quite a small part of all the things that they had given the city. But it became the public face of the Ursulines in the city.
Well, the shrine is really important for the city of New Orleans because it hasn't been just here on this campus. It's been part of the fabric of New Orleans since the 1700s. The Ursulines arrived here in 1727. Our Lady of Prom Succor doesn't come till 1810, but that commitment to Our Lady and to Notre Dame, Our Lady in French, and no matter whatever form she took, was very important for the city. Actually, the sisters in 1820s moved because their property, which crossed Charter Street, and the street did not cross through, it actually stopped at Ursuline's, hadn't gone through all the way through. So the city decided to cut the street all the way through, separated their property in two. The sisters decided to leave the city to move downriver. 1910 comes along. The state decides, let's put the industrial canal. What's a great place to put it? Right through the Ursulines' property again. So this time, instead of pavement, it ends up water, and they end up then moving here to the Claiborne Street, State Street, you know, this whole block, this campus. This was actually a dump. Tulane was barely there, and this was a neighborhood that no one really knew what was going to happen to it, and the Ursulines took a chance on it.
When the Ursulines got to New Orleans, of course, they thought they were going to be converting Native American women and girls. But what they found when they got here was that that was not the missionary field, the great missionary field for conversion. That missionary field lay among the enslaved women and girls of New Orleans. And so right away, they started offering catechism classes every afternoon at the convent for 2 hours. That act is really the most important thing about the Ursulines in New Orleans and the community that they created. Here you have women, almost all of whom were born in Africa in 1727. They came here straight from Africa in chains. And their daughters going to the Ursuline convent every afternoon after their work was finished for catechism classes. Now, did they go because they wanted to learn the catechism? Well, at that time, the Code Noir said that one could not leave one's plantation without permission. One could not gather in a group of more than 2 or 3 other enslaved people without risk of arrest and corporal punishment. So if you were an enslaved woman and you lived on a plantation with maybe 1 or 2 other enslaved women, maybe no other enslaved women, what was your chance for making friends, for having community, for talking in your own language, for meeting each other and exchanging news about your children, your husbands, your lives? The Ursulines gave those women that opportunity every afternoon for 2 hours.
So one of the things that the Ursulines have done from that early inception in 1727 all the way up to now is they teach women how to be independent. They teach women that no matter what is in front of you, whether you're raising children, whether you're married, whether you're single, you ought to have this strength about you to be able to do what you need to do in society and to be able to function in the world. And I think the Ursulines have given that to women from almost 300 years here in the city. If you want to know the city of New Orleans and you want to study Catholicism, you have to just not go to the Archdiocese. You have to come to the Ursulines. They have been part of that integral history of the city since the beginning of the city. I mean, the sisters arrived here 9 years after the city started. So if you're not looking at the sisters, you're missing out on a huge portion of history.
Just about everything that's important about the city's history is approachable or can be known in some way through this museum, and can be known in ways that it can't be known from other museums. But I think it's a really important part of this city's heritage, and it tells a part of its history that isn't told anywhere else.
I love this ministry because mainly it's spiritual ministry. It's providing a place for people to come for prayer, for comfort, for celebration. And I love that part of it best of all. Well, we have daily Mass here. We have special Masses on Feast Days of Mary about once a month, and then January 8th is our big day. We also, whenever possible, have weddings for our alums and other people connected with the shrine, and baptisms of their children, and burial of their loved ones.